battle/action anime series tend to be the go-to watch that people would love to spend their time watching. It's just safe to say that this particular genre of anime is the most popular one, and it's not even arguable. Iconic characters, epic fight scenes, or even famous lines that go with the story progressions are the elements that hype us up. But as we watch more and more action anime series, it would eventually get tiresome and dull because of the repetitiveness. Predictable storylines, identical character personalities, and overused philosophies are the things that we usually get tired of. But as a fan of action anime series, I can't help but look for other anime series that are interesting, fresh, and different from typical action series. How's it going, folks? Welcome to Last District, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about action anime series that are gonna get you out of boredom. So here they are. Number 1. BOKU no Hero. BOKU no Hero is a well-known anime series that to me has an overlooked fit to it. Most people would probably look into the story progression or great fight scenes that the show has. But let me tell you something, this anime has great things hidden underneath its sleeve. Wait, does that make sense? Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, the show has a unique way to portray its characters. For example, the main character named Goku. What the f? Deku is not someone who has always been brave and enthusiastic from the get-go. It's not always persistence that makes him stronger. It's his doubts and questions to his own self, plus real actions to prove his theories. He's different because he's not a typical main character who lacks awareness of threats coming to him. He's a type of person who pauses before he acts. Self-development from training after training and fight after fight is really showing. And I'm not talking about his ultimate moves, it's more about his state of mind. He often changes his mindset, for better or worse, and that element of character is quite rare to see in action anime series. Deku shows that you don't have to lose your family and home to be mentally strong. You don't have to act like an idiot, and you don't have to be loud to get recognized. Well, speaking about loud, the side character named BOKU is interesting too because you see some major traits in him that fit to be the main character, but he's not. He seems like an aggressive and self-assured character, but he's more supportive than you might think. Again, this proves you that action anime series don't have to go with the same formula on character roles over and over. Well, as of this video launched, the series is still not over yet. So we'll see if the rest of the protagonists would also get deeper character developments, because we haven't seen much of those on them. Overall, the show is quite enjoyable and thoughtful because we get to see subtle layers of characterizations on Deku and BOKU. Number 2. Zetsue no Tempest. Breathtaking visuals, classical piece of soundtracks, alluring storyline. There's so much to love about this show. The balance is there, the harmonization is spot on. The strong points like storyline are crafted beautifully and creatively with some fair share of twists to it, and I can't get over with how beautiful the background tracks are. They successfully enhance the dialogues and animation. As for the animation, it looks nothing special at times, but when you see little details like the eyes of the characters, they show emotions that represent the current situation they're in. The way that the characters behave and how the story progresses make us question ourselves sometimes, like, will we do the same thing like this guy does in that situation? The storyline keeps feeding our brain with logical or situational way of thinking, of course, regardless the fact that the story involves magical, supernatural things. Furthermore, it digs deeper into the soul of its characters. They're somewhat relatable in some ways, like, am I an asshole for not being able to grieve? I don't know about you, but I felt that a lot. And don't get me wrong, they're not predictable. Smaller range of characters gives them the advantage of developing the characters even further. They tend to fool us with the way they look and behave at first, but they sort of dodge all the thoughts we had of them in surprisingly ways that make sense. For the most part, this show will give you twists and a combination of love and hatred with a touch of magic. It's just almost too good to get overlooked. At number 3 we got Boruto. Yeah, you heard that right. The show is different because it's fucking trash. Number 3, Beelzebub. Wait, is it Beelzebub? Whatever. This show's consistency on making its audiences laugh is remarkable. It's one of those shows that doesn't have complexity in storytelling. It's more of rough, or reckless I should say. But if you're totally okay with just comedy and simple storyline, then it's gotta be a gem. While this anime doesn't offer seriousness or suspense, it offers straight up enjoyment with funny actions, warm interactions and silly battles along the way. Yes, I would say this one is no doubt a journey without serious or thoughtful story about reaching some certain goal. It's a fun and unconfined journey. What amazed me the most is its originality and purity in delivering its storyline and comedies as if the writer doesn't care if you like it or not, and that is ignorance at its best. As for the art and animation, this one might seem basic at first glance, but it's actually perfect for its style of storytelling and comedy. And for the main characters, they are not given much of character development for a good reason. They just simply don't need it. But the fun part is, most villains who seem to be powerful, they turn into laughingstocks as soon as they get beaten, and some of them return to the story to avenge the main character or go as far as helping him out. But what's unpredictable lies on their interactions. It's like the 96 Bulls lineup of comedians with specialities of their own. In all seriousness, this unserious story of a delinquent high schooler and a Demon King baby is a great watch when you're not in serious mode. Just loosen up a bit. Don't expect everything you watch should have a deep meaning and you're good to go. Number 4. Assassination Classroom. This one is hell of an anime and I mean it. The originality of its premise makes it one of the most inspiring anime series I've ever watched. I love how they execute the premise into a compelling series of episodes, and it comes with a complete package of great action scenes, mysteries that might catch you off guard, silly and warm interactions, and a touch of romance to it. Logical explanations of how things work in this show are a great compliment that might give you some sort of satisfaction and make you watch it more eagerly. It has a great cast of characters that complement each other like the eager one, the slacker, the badass, the coward, the idealist, the realist, and so on. They're assembled in one class of 30-ish people, so not all of them get enough screen time to show off their significance to the show, but they make sure to give layers of characterizations to the significant ones. I also love a detail where Koro-sensei, the teacher who has an unhuman-like appearance, teaches his students how to be human, and then the students would have to deal with their own problems while overcoming their weaknesses and eventually grow together collectively to reach their mutual target. Wait, isn't that basic? No, most of Koro-sensei's teachings are about moral values in ways of both explicit and subtle, and he also gives logical reasonings to his deeds and teachings from the start to the end. And speaking about the ending, wait, chill, I'm not about to give you spoilers or anything, but I gotta say that the series has one of, if not the best anime ending I've ever seen. So it's definitely worth watching, regardless you're into action anime or not. And the last one will be One Punch Man. This is folks. This is my kind of best action anime series I've ever watched, particularly the season 1, and I'll tell you why. The series relies heavily with its premise about the main character, the most powerful yet unknown hero, and he goes by the name of Saitama. If the word underrated has got thrown way too often, this character totally deserves to get called underrated in his own universe, because his true power just simply got overlooked by monsters and most heroes just because he looks silly. The dude got way too powerful to slay monsters with his bare hands and lost every reason that will make him lose. He loses the excitement, the thrill, and hell even his hair too. And adding to that premise, the show is exactly what it means to be shitposting. The world that revolves around Saitama doesn't really matter that much, and serious things often end up as a joke, even if it's as serious as threatening the whole humanity. Saitama will always get bored, no matter what he does or what the circumstances force him to do. But he's not a jokester at all. It's his reactions that make the whole show turns to gold. And what makes it funnier is, no matter how strong Saitama is, he's way more relatable than all other heroes and monsters that are more of anime-like. He's not concerned about threats coming to him, nor about becoming the #1 hero, but he's concerned about his financial, what to eat for dinner, and even the longest piece of french fries that he ordered at a restaurant. The side characters are unique and solid. They can neutralize or even enhance Saitama's dominance in this show. And the unique thing is, it's the side characters that sort of drag Saitama to get into the plot. While some characters don't seem to be significant to the show, they're still likable, especially the hero named King. Now, I won't tell you what this character does in the show, but he's the perfect character to accompany Saitama. And by the way, he's one of my favorite characters ever created. This concept of character is so simple yet out of the box, and you'll get to see what he's all about on season 2. And about the art and animation, the season 1 that is produced by Madhouse is the best one I've watched so far. It can capture funny moments as well as flashy action scenes really well. And not to mention that the opening song and background music on season 1 are hella iconic and fit the show perfectly too. With that being said, I just don't get why there are still people who don't like the show. Well, maybe I just don't have to. And that's pretty much it. I hope you have the time and mood to watch these shows that I recommend you to watch. And when you've done watching, please let me know your thoughts through the comment section. See you some other time. Peace. Out motherfuckers. Wah, anjing lebih lila tidur kamar ya. Panjang teuing sih kana. Goblok.